If I had to restart my Pokemon business in 2026, here's what I would do. Given that I actually did start my business in the beginning of this year, it's been about 5 months now, but it's honestly been a pretty wild ride. I've been able to grow my YouTube a little bit and grow my social media. And I've also turned my $10,000 start into around $40,000, which is pretty awesome. If you haven't seen my 10 stacks to 100 racks series, please go check it out. It's pretty cool. There are so many different directions that you can go when starting a Pokemon business. I've personally run into a lot of issues, spreading myself too thin, trying to do way too many things. And I would honestly see a lot of shiny things. I would see a lot of opportunities and I would just go chase it, go down that rabbit hole. And honestly, I've learned a lot from those opportunities. However, if I had to restart, here's what I would do. So the first thing I would always do is define the game that you're playing. So what that really means is just pick a lane and stick to it. And that might sound pretty straightforward and easy, but trust me, it's really, really not. There's so many different ways you can actually make money in this hobby. And just to name a few, you can do grading, you can do vending, you can do content. There's there's card restoration. There's so many different things that I can go on and on about the different types of ways you can make money. But if you keep trying to do all of them and encompass all of them into your business, it's going to spread yourself too thin. It'll be way too draining. You'll end up quitting or just, not making a lot of money in one way. And that will actually really hurt your ability to scale your business into like a strong and powerful brand as time goes on. So when you're actually picking a lane, you need to first understand what you like. If you're in this for the long haul and you're trying to scale this to a really, really large size, you need to pick and find and understand the things that you love, the things that drive you, the things that make you feel really excited and make you want to wake up and just keep doing it, keep grinding. Because in order to just build any business and be successful in any business, the consistency and being able to kind of drive yourself to make gains every single day. And even when it's hard, you can push yourself through because it's just that exciting to you. For me personally, that's actually building a brand, but also talking to people and engaging and connecting with people. And that's kind of what I've decided to build my brand around. And I'm starting to do videos like this and starting to build my content streams and different sales channels like streaming because I actually like connecting with people while selling cards. I would really challenge you guys to take a look at what you really like. And when you actually like something so much, it gives you that edge that a lot of people, who are kind of forcing themselves to do it, it basically feels like work for them. But for you, if it doesn't feel like work, that's your edge. And that's how you actually can get ahead in this industry when you're starting right now. So my suggestion is to start with 1, maybe 2 max of revenue streams and just like ways to make money. Content is a huge thing, but if you really, really don't like content and editing and that kind of stuff and that really drains you, then find something else. Like there's vending, there's grading, there's, restoration, there's like all sorts of stuff. So the biggest second point is, in order for you to succeed in this hobby, you need to just increase your reps, be able to do and repeat and do and repeat over and over again until you actually get good. So you're not going to be, showing up to your first show with $1,000 or a couple $1,000s worth of inventory. Honestly, you could probably do it with even less, but you're not just going to show up to your first show and just be perfect at everything. And that's okay. These are any skill that you have in life, honestly, is you build through just repetition and consistency and just being, very determined to actually learn those things. Be a sponge when you go to these things. Understand what worked for you, what didn't. See what other people are doing, connect. And once you start to build those reps, once you start to keep doing those things over and over, you will become, a master at it. And so selling isn't just sitting behind a table and having someone hand cash to you. It's honestly something that requires a lot of skills. It requires a lot of negotiation skills, like talking back and forth, honestly selling the cards to your customers, making sure that they feel like they're getting a good card, they're getting a good deal, being transparent, and that also goes a very long way. So explaining conditions and understanding the sets and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that might be overwhelming at first, but all of it just comes through repetition and just consuming. So be a sponge, go to your first show, take everything in, soak it in, meet as many people as you can, and The number one thing is just have fun doing it. This, for most people, is a hobby, and if you wanted to scale this into a business that's something full-time and stuff, I would not worry about that as of right now. You need to gain your footing, understand what your strengths are, and start to build and scale from that. And then you can start to think about, okay, well, here's how I'm gonna scale this into, you know, a full-time opportunity. But up until that point, you know, you shouldn't be optimizing for the future. You should really just be taking everything brick by brick and just building, worrying about what you're gonna do this month or this week. As time goes on, you'll be able to kind of build that picture and then understand, you're like, hey, maybe this is something I can do full time. So one of the biggest skills you can actually teach yourself and learn throughout this process and focus on is sourcing. So sourcing actually becomes one of your biggest bottlenecks throughout this entire process. And what that really means is, you know, it's really hard to actually buy cards at a certain percentage and making sure that you are able to actually make a margin and a profit on. And as of right now, there's so much competition out there, and I understand it could be very demoralizing going on Facebook Marketplace every single day, finding some lots, people only selling for, you know, 85, 90%. And honestly, like, it is tough. Like, I won't sugarcoat it. It is pretty tough, but sometimes try to find those little deals that you can start to compound, or try to talk to people that you may know that might have old collections and stuff that you can buy from them, or try to use your own collection as an example, because once you get a decent inventory and you're able to kind of sit down and vend at a show, you just being at that show is an opportunity for deals, right? You can start to buy, people will approach you with, you know, with certain deals, and some might be good, some might not be, but that's completely up to you if you wanted to take them. But it's very important that you kind of get to a show, because you can then start to buy at 75 to 80% consistently throughout those shows. You know, depending on where you are, sometimes a little bit higher, but you're able to get trades if you have cards that people want, and you can trade into stuff, and that's where the actual like magic starts to happen. And so don't get too demoralized if you know, it's really hard to kind of source cards as of right now. You will start to build those connections and learn over time. Try to get to a show as quickly as possible and kind of just start making deals, start getting those reps in, start understanding and just connecting and networking, and those opportunities will come at you. Just be very open, be very friendly, and be very talkative to the people around you, and I promise you things will come. One other skill I would definitely, you know, pay attention to as time goes on is optimizing for velocity. And what velocity really means is your ability to buy a card at a, you know, a decent percentage and then sell it as quickly as possible. For the people who are streaming, for example, like Whatnot streaming, those people are actually doing this at an insane rate. A lot of the times their margins are actually a little bit, you know, a little bit lighter, and you'll see them kind of walk around at some shows with like giant suitcases, just filling up cards and buying at like higher, like 90+% honestly at this point. And then the Whatnot streamers will just sell them all on Whatnot, but they're able to sell hundreds and hundreds of cards at 5% margin, and they're actually just able to take that, go to the show the next week, and just reinvest and keep making that 5% margin over and over and over. And that actually compounds a lot, right? And this is, you know, if you're into vending and stuff like that and you don't do streaming, you're actually able to make larger margin, but it takes a little bit more time for you to actually sell them, right? So if you're able to develop those sales channels and build a brand, honestly, which is where building a brand actually comes in, is you're able to talk to more people, network more, and expand the people that you're actually selling to, so that when you come to trying to sell, you can post it on your Instagram story, you can post it on your Facebook, or you can post it on any platform or e-commerce site that you've created because of your brand. And once more and more people know you, you're actually able to sell, and your velocity will slowly increase and increase, and you're able to make that margin, even like a larger margin, even faster. And this is how a lot of people scale into these massive businesses, and they're able to start multiple streams. They're able to employ people to source for them, and they're able to do all of these things because they're optimizing for velocity. So that is something that as time goes on, you will start to kind of pick up. And that is something that I would definitely be, you know, keeping an eye on as I start my business in the Pokemon space. Another thing I would focus on actually learning is about liquidity. So what liquidity really means is if it's able to sell fast. Typically, let's say, you know, a Pikachu would be a lot more or a lot easier to sell than tier 5 random Pokemon, right? Like a Caterpie, for example, right? Like people love Caterpie, but there's way more people that love Pikachu, right? And that's the same thing with these top tier Pokemon like Gengar, Rayquaza, like Lugia, like Mew, Mewtwo. All of these Pokemon are way more popular than certain other ones, and as you start to vend more and more, pay attention to the market shifts, pay attention to what people are asking for, like what errors they're asking for. That alone is actually so important, because when people come up to you to sell and to trade you, right, and you actually are looking through, you're able to pass on certain things that you know aren't very liquid, right? Especially if they're taking a really liquid card from you. So you want to make the trades like beneficial to you, even if you're taking out a percentage. If it's not liquid card, then it's going to be really hard for you to move, and you're going to end up either sitting on that card for a long time, or just yeah. And so that goes back to the initial velocity point, is, you know, your velocity decreases if the liquidity of your inventory is actually not very liquid. So very important that you understand this, but you will actually learn just through repetition as well. So yeah. Another quick tip I have is to have some liquid capital when you go to shows. It's actually very important, because if you're kind of just buying and spending all of your money on sourcing and inventory before you even go to shows, you might have to give up some really good opportunities that honestly could catapult your, you know, your entire net worth of Pokemon stuff and your entire net worth of your inventory, you know, even 2x at some point, because some of those deals are just too good to pass up. And sometimes some people like really need the money, they really need to liquidate, and they're able to sell it to you at a really low percentage, and it's a liquid card and it's just beautiful and it's perfect. So if someone came up to you and wanted to sell this Mewtwo and a PSA 10, and it's got a Mewtwo in it and a Charizard, it would be a great opportunity, even if you're able to buy it at 80-85%. That is a very liquid card, and that card can actually, so if you're actually able to buy this card, then you're able to kind of sell it maybe in the same day, the same week, or like very quickly, and then you're actually able to recoup that cash and make that margin really fast. But if you show up to a lot of these shows without a liquid cash, a lot of those opportunities you will be forced to honestly let it go, and it'll feel really bad, and honestly it's going to start to, you know, stun your business. So if you aren't very liquid and there are some cards that are very stagnant, you know, do something with it. Find another vendor that you've networked with to trade into, and you can trade into a liquid card, so then you can sell it. Or if you wanted to liquidate and you've got good margins, maybe that card's gone up but like you can't sell it, like just let go of it, even if it's at like a 5 to 10% margin or just like a loss, and then you can reinvest that money into more liquid cards. And yeah, then it'll just be a kind of just a game of just, you know, making sure your inventory is as liquid as possible, having enough capital to buy, sell, and trade. And once you have that, you're honestly golden. You're able to kind of just do this every week, and you will grow. So I promise you, you guys are going to be killer vendors. You guys are going to be killer business owners. And yeah, that's a perfect segue into relationships and networking. So I've kind of touched on this a little bit in earlier points, but relationships and networking are everything when it comes to Pokemon and business. And honestly, in any business too, like a lot of the times you will hear people say it's not what you know, but it's who you know, right? And that is very true, especially in businesses like this, because I've seen so many, you know, opportunities go to people who just know people in the hobby, right? A lot of the times it's hard to get certain tables, right? Like it's really hard for me to get a Collecticon table because I'm not really big enough and I don't know enough people, and I'm starting to, you know, get into group chats and meet more people. But up until this point, 3-4 months ago, I would have no idea how to get a Collecticon table, and I would go on the website and try to get one when it dropped, and I would not be able to get it. And people still can't do it, to be honest. But now I know people, and I'm in group chats to be able to kind of make up for that and buy tables, even if it's a little bit above market or whatever. It is so important because those opportunities are only arising because of the people that I've I've met and because of the work that I put in to actually build that network, right? Yeah, and then there's other things that I kind of mentioned before, is being able to buy, sell, and trade with people. And it's also just fun, right? Like knowing people at the show, like every day, every time I show up to a local show or a show around the Miami area, like I just go up and say what's up to people and just see how they're doing. And they're just like honestly doing the exact same thing that I'm doing. So I'm able to kind of bounce ideas off of them, like just hang out and just like have some good laughs and just, you know, it's a good time. It's a community. And that is something that I'm trying to kind of embrace, but then also take that and push it into my content and build a community that's just, you know, very loving, very, you know, entertaining and just fun to be around, playing games and just, you know, just collecting and enjoying the hobby the way it's supposed to be enjoyed. So that is my passion. That is one of the things that I enjoy the most about this hobby. And you know, I cannot stress enough how important relationships and networking is in this kind of space. So definitely do not ignore that when you go to do these things. And another thing is, once you start to build that brand, you're able to sort of do repeat trades. People are able to reach out to you on Instagram and do sales. People, you know, come to you with sourcing opportunities. If someone wants to liquidate, if someone wants to trade something out, and you know, you actually like those cards, and you know people who like certain cards that other people aren't able to sell, like they'll know you for that type of card or the types of cards that you like, and then that will actually compound over and over. And the more and more people you meet, the more and more opportunities like that will exist. So those are most of the tips and ideas that I have and I would have if I were to start from scratch today. There's a lot of information that I left out, and you know, I'm trying to make this better and better as I go on. But you know, if there's anything that you would like to know or anything that you would like me to make a video on, please let me know in the comments below. I'm always looking to educate and kind of just build a community from this as well. So if you guys enjoyed this type of content, please like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll be making more and more content like this in the future. So stay tuned and see you guys in the next video. Peace.